Hello, everyone. My apologies, I cannot be with you in person due to unforeseen circumstances, but it's still a pleasure to be able to connect with you at Startup South 9. I want to thank the organizers for bringing us together under this theme, Deep and Broad, extending frontiers of technology and economic development. It's an incredibly timely conversation, especially given the rapid evolution we're witnessing in Africa's tech and startup ecosystem. Today, I want to talk about angel investing and the role it plays in catalyzing innovation and economic development in Africa. Over the years, I've had the privilege of investing in and mentoring quite a number of startups all across the continent. This journey has not only deepened my belief in Africa's potential, but also shown me that transformative power that angel investors can have on the future of innovation. As some of you know, I wear quite a few hats, including being the collaborator in chief at TVC Labs, a co-founder of the Lagos Angel Network, and founding president of the African Business Angel Network. My name is Tommy Davis. Everybody calls me TD. These roles have provided me with a front seat row to the challenges and opportunities that startups face. They've also shown me how angel investing is not just about capital, it's about community, mentorship, and most importantly, it's about partnership and collaboration. So today, what I want to do is share with you the impact of angel investing, how it drives innovation, and why, in my opinion, it's one of the keys to Africa's economic development. Now, as we all know from recent happenings, Africa's startup ecosystem is flourishing. From Lagos to Nairobi, from Cape Town to Accra, we're seeing new ventures springing up to solve local and global challenges. Sectors like fintech, agri-tech, medtech, edtech, logitech, and others are seeing tremendous growth. And it's not a coincidence that African entrepreneurs are seizing that opportunity that technology has presented and a connected continent provides. However, we've got to acknowledge that these founders do have an amazing amount of challenges. Access to capital remains a top hurdle. Alongside that, you've got regulatory barriers and then fragmentation of markets across borders. It's a really, really tough ask to be a startup founder in today's Africa. But there's good news because you see, Africa's potential is massive. With a youthful population and the widespread use of mobile technology, we have a unique opportunity to leapfrog traditional systems and build solutions that meet our local needs while solving global problems at the same time. You don't believe me? Well, we're already seeing how digital infrastructure, such as mobile money platforms and renewable energy solutions, are reshaping entire industries. However, to scale these innovations, startups are going to need support. They need funding, they need mentorship, they need guidance and access to networks to navigate the journey ahead. So let's look at angel investing itself. For those of you unfamiliar with angel investors, they're typically high net worth individuals who invest in startups at the very early stages. Like in my case, it's first outside check. But they don't just bring money, they bring mentorship, strategic guidance, and access to business networks. This is particularly critical here in Africa because as angel investors, we often have to step in where traditional financial institutions and venture capital are hesitant. We provide that first outside capital injection, helping startups gain traction and move from idea to reality. I could share countless success stories, but let me just pinpoint the well-known ones. Take, for instance, Paystack, which started with a pre-seed funding from angel investors like Kola Aina and Olumide Soyombo, and has gone on to become a leader in fintech across Africa after acquisition by Stripe. Or is it Flutterwave you want to talk about, which is now a unicorn that's scaling globally? These are startups that have been able to overcome early challenges thanks to the support and the insights provided by those early angel investors in them. This is what good angels do. They light the fire that gets the startup engine going. Beyond money, they offer invaluable advice and open doors that would otherwise be inaccessible. But the impact goes beyond just the individual startups. Angel investing creates what I call a multiplier effect. How is that? Well, startups that receive angel backing become more attractive to VCs, creating a ripple effect of investment across the ecosystem. Because you see, it's a partnership where angels help the business take the first steps, and then the VCs help it scale. This leads me to our broader impact, which is the theme we're here for today, economic development. By supporting job creation, skills development, and knowledge transfer, angel investors are already contributing to economic growth across Africa. And let's not forget the role of innovation in addressing the SDGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals. You've got SDG 5, gender equality, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, yeah. SDG 9, industry, my favorite, innovation and infrastructure. Okay, startups supported by angel investors are driving meaningful change as a result. Now, of course, angel investing in Africa isn't without its own challenges. Okay, for one, we face regulatory barriers. We're slightly ahead of the game here in Nigeria with our Nigeria Startup Pact, which was passed in 2022, but we're still struggling to implement it. And many governments are just developing policies that encourage investment in startups. And in our case, our state governments are yet to pass the enabling bills that will bring the act to life. So we've still got our work cut out for us. That's the first challenge. And until 2022, angel investing wasn't even recognized in Nigeria. But that's not just it. The next challenge is exit opportunities, which are also limited. And with limited exit opportunities, guess what? It's harder for investors to recoup their funds, and that reduces the interest of potential angels. But one of our single biggest issues as angels is knowledge and experience. Many potential angel investors are unfamiliar with the startup landscape, or they're hesitant because they don't know what to expect. Now, this is where angel networks come in. Organizations like Lagos Angel Network, Southeast Angel Network, Rising Tide Africa in Nigeria, and then the Africa Business Angel Network, which is Pan-African, bringing them all together, are creating ecosystems where angel investors can learn, collaborate, and syndicate deals. These networks lower the risk for angel investors by allowing them to share insights and pool capital, which also helps startups raise larger sums than with individual angels. I believe that the future of angel investing in Africa is bright. We're just starting to see cross-border investments, an increase in impact investing, and a surge of interest from the global investment community. This is no longer, it's an African party or an African story. The world's watching, and investors are starting to recognize that there's incredible potential here on the continent. So, to the founders listening, my message is very simple. If you don't have one yet and are still in ideation or just have an MVP, go find yourself an angel investor, not just for funding, but for the mentorship and connections that can help you navigate the challenges of building your startup. Remember, collaboration is key. To the investors, both existing angels and potentials, if you haven't already, now, especially with all this depression and everything else, is the time to get involved. Angel investing offers you the chance to make a real impact, not just for financial return, but to help build the future of Africa. Finally, to the policymakers and ecosystem builders, I urge you to create environments that encourage angel investing. In Nigeria today, this means supporting the implementation of the Nigeria Startup Act, NSA, with tax incentives, regulatory reforms, and direct support of early stage businesses it engenders when we finally get it fully implemented. So, in closing, let's remember that angel investing isn't just about money. It's about empowering entrepreneurs, building ecosystems, and driving economic development. Together, as investors, founders, and policymakers, we can extend the frontiers of technology to create a thriving African economy. My name again is Tommy Davis. Everybody calls me TD. I'd really, really like to thank you for listening. You take care and God bless.